to the swamp inside Florida Athletics. It's Jerry, it's Davey, it's Marcus, and it's Sauce. We about to hang out tonight and talk some ball. We are the boys from FLORIDA. Step into the three, call me Walt Clay. Hanging out in the pocket, call me Lagway. We shake and bake like it's Rayman all day. Welcome to the swamp.
So welcome to another episode of Florida Athletics. I'm your co-host, Anthony Beck, along with my other co-host,
Jerry Brown. What's going on?
Your boy Sauce.
And last but not least, the man with the new microphone, the man with the new lease on life, and the man handing building Pierce bags this summer. Better known as Marcus. How everybody doing?
Blessed today, bro. It's a good day. It's a good day. Happy to be here.
It's a great day, and we got a guest joining us. Y'all see her on here. We got Allie Peak, host of Peak Inside Gators Football. How you doing tonight, Allie?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. A lot of changes from all of us. So since we've last had you on, Sauce is still going on trips. Jerry then changed locations. Marcus has a new microphone, and I changed jobs.
Boy, you a snitch, ain't it? Boy, you
Right? He just put his business out there on First Street.
Right, just running his mouth.
Lee. I know your ass was like running from recess with the damn notepad out.
Bro, with a note. First of all, recess was rare when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, they was locking y'all up. That's what they was doing in school.
I went to school with a lot of badass kids. Like, what are you like?
Language, no cursing.
Watch yourself.
Language.
Somebody's child is watching the podcast.
Oh, this is a TVG program, man. What's wrong with you?
Oh, please, like children today cursing at their parents.
Oh, they
Don't
are.
you condone that, by the way. So if you are, stop doing that.
Anyway,
We get put out. But anyway, we got a big show for y'all tonight. We got a lot to cover. We had a lot of news in regards to Gator athletics. Baseball is killing it in the portal right now. Basketball, they're back on campus. They're doing summer workouts, and from the looks of some of the early clips, look like they're gonna be really good again. Football season A is right around the corner. You got SEC Media Days next month. Then after that, you're gonna really start ramping up towards the season. And unfortunate news with the football team that we kind of do have to start off with involves freshman defensive lineman Stephon Shivers, who was dismissed from the team after his arrest for domestic violence felony, and with some of the information that's come out, it's not good, and I feel like they made the right decision in dismissing him from the team. So I want to get everybody's thoughts on it. And what's up, Kenny? How you doing? But I want to get everybody's thoughts on the situation. Starting with Allie.
All right. Okay. First of all, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this on the show or not, but I am kind of jaded maybe on situations like this. When Eric played, there was a lineman who was accused of rape. He was dismissed from the team, or suspended for the team, maybe while this case worked itself out. It was the front page news on the Alligator, and it ended up that the woman had made the story up, and she actually eventually was charged with filing a false police report. And the real situation was, this was a girl that he would go home with from the bars with at times, but was not exclusively dating her. And she got mad when he left a bar with a different woman and filed this police report. And when his name was cleared, it was a box about this big on the back, last page of the Alligator, even though when he had been accused, it was front page of the Alligator. And to this day, when you Google him, it's something that comes up, even though it was almost 20 years ago and it wasn't true. So I do always try to be really, really like wait and see on stuff like this, because I watched it in real time, and it was completely false, but it almost ruined his life. He had to answer for it during draft interviews with NFL teams. The whole thing was completely made up, though. That being said, I think that Billy Napier made the right choice separating himself from the situation until, there is some sort of resolution on this. And if it ends up that he was falsely accused or all of this is wrong or whatever else, I am sure Napier will let him back on the team. But the risk of keeping somebody accused of domestic violence against women, and the risk that poses to your locker room seems too big to me to just, leave things as they are as it plays out.
No, I definitely certainly agree. I think on Napier's part, I think it's a responsible decision to make to allow the kid and the party that is accusing to get situated, figure everything out. Hopefully, there's some character development, even if he's not guilty. How do you separate yourself from situations like that to not get yourself in trouble? And then hopefully he can grow and join the team again and, be a better man. But if he is guilty, I'm hoping that the young lady is safe and justice is served for sure. And all parties are clear.
Yeah, I hope this isn't true, because at the end of the day, if it is, that means a woman was assaulted, and you never want that to happen. But this is the type of stuff that you can't have in your program, and until further notice, getting them out of there and separating the team from it. This is what you got to do. So shout out Napier for that. I hope this wasn't true. I really do. But if so, then good riddance.
I think it's, sad because these are young people. These are young adults in college looking to set themselves up for their future. And regardless of the circumstance, men and women both, we all have to, like the Bible says, we have to think quickly but act slowly. You have to count the cost of everything you do and say, and how you do things and how you say things before they're done, because you cannot go back in time and erase what was said or done. But most importantly, I hope that regardless, this thing can be worked out and resolved. I'm not sure if this is, like Ali said, something that is fully true, because this is just reported news. They haven't gone to trial and everything yet. But once the smoke clears and everything comes about, I hope that his future isn't affected too negatively if he's found guilty. But ultimately, like Marcus said, I hope that this isn't true.
Right. I 100% agree with every single thing y'all said. And, I'm the same way. I'm hoping and praying that this isn't true. But if it is, like Marcus and Ali really said, it's not something that you want around your program. It's not somebody that you want around your program, because you run the risk of it being like a possible trickle-down effect. Hopefully it wouldn't come to that, but just the situation alone itself, just looking at it at face value right now, it is sad. And, these are two young people whose futures are they're at stake right now. And if it's true, my thoughts and prayers are with the young lady and her family, and hopefully she is safe. But if not, then like Saul said, I hope his future isn't, affected too much by this. But hopefully it gets resolved very soon. And, of course, let the facts play out. But to remove him from the team right now until it gets settled, it was said the right move. It's something that you have to do. You don't need that around your program right now. You got too many positive things going on within the program right now, and you don't want anything to disrupt that. So to remove him from the team, absolutely 100% the right decision. So hopefully everything with the situation does get resolved, though. So we're just gonna keep both of them in our prayers, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's not true.
No, for sure. I kind of wanted to get into this after that topic. So recently, the times of the games have been released, and it looks like the Gators will be out front, live. Everybody's going to be watching us this year for sure. So how are we feeling about not having any noon games? First and foremost, we're not going to be hot like that. We're going to be hot, but we're not going to be noon USF 2010 type hot.
Oof.
That
Never a
was-
hotter game than USF 2010.
That was hot.
That
So-
was a hot one.
Yeah, how are we feeling about the times, man?
I can't wait to see this Texas because I bought the ticket yesterday during the Gator certified pre-sale. So yeah, I bought one for Texas. Other than that, I'm not sure what other games I'm gonna go to, but I do love that our games are later because it's prime, pretty much like prime time games. The only thing, if you have a 12 o'clock game, once that game is over, you got the rest of your Saturday. So that's the only con to it.
That's true.
That is true, but then there's no good tailgating, or very little good tailgating compared to a afternoon or evening game. I love it because it appears that every single end of the third quarter is going to happen in the dark, right? Because even if you kick off at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, you're by that time it's more than likely dark in the swamp, which makes Won't Back Down even cooler. But the swamp is such an advantage; it's such a weapon, but it is much more so at night. You let the sauce flow for a little bit during tailgates.
No
You got
pun intended.
no pun intended. You got it gets dark out. Like it's just a different vibe when you have those afternoon and evening games, and it is a bigger advantage for Florida when that's the case. But can you imagine Florida, Texas under the lights? Like that one is going to be wild. Same thing. Florida LSU is going to be at night in Baton Rouge. Like there is nothing better.
Right, and with those games being at night, we all know when the sun start going down in the swamp in a big game, and Florida, got it going, and that fourth quarter come on.
Oh yeah, you already know what's happening.
Oh, you would.
You already know what's about to happen. All you got to do is
Oh.
think back to LSU last season.
Yeah.
Yep.
When the fourth quarter popped up, what happened?
Hey, what's that country song? When the sun goes down.
Kenny Chesney.
hmm
Be a little
Also,
worried
I
about
will
the
say,
Tulsa.
when it's dark and we are scoring and those fireworks come out of the jumbotron, I love that.
I
That's
love that
amazing.
too.
I
And-
100% agree.
Oh, and then the new lights that they installed, I think it was 2 years ago. Like
Yeah.
when the bro
The orange and blue.
Yeah, that thing is fire.
recruits are going to love that. Like for the ones who've never gone to a game, like they've been to camps, they've been to like daytime games, bro. That is going to hit.
Oh, that at night. What a recruiting tool.
I didn't think about that. Like honestly, the kids coming at nighttime, especially if we're winning and kicking butt, that's going to be huge. Tom Petty at nighttime, all the energy. It's not that hot anymore. Everybody's feeling good, and then Won't Back Down comes on. We get an interception. Off of Art.
And let's
I was just about to talk about him. Boy, this gonna be like Joe Burrow when he came to the Swamp in 2018.
Oh yeah.
We
Boy,
beat
don't
them.
let us put belt. Please don't let us put belt to them boys. Actually, no. I say please put belt to them boys, Billy.
Man, y'all already know my well-documented frustrations and pent-up trauma when it comes to playing LSU, especially since I went to my
Marcus,
first game there at the
please.
Swamp. Brother,
Well, at least you didn't watch Jaden Daniels live, and
That was awful. That was
that had to be traumatic. I ain't gonna lie,
That was
but hey,
by far one of. I think that's probably by far the worst I've ever seen us get dismantled on defense. I mean, it was an experience seeing Jaden Daniels against Florida. I mean, I just there's nothing you could do about it. He was just
on the flip side, Brian Thomas going up top on us every 3 plays and not having and getting cheer from on Sundays now. I mean, we'll win, I guess. Can't win them all, but
Jersey.
you already know. I got the throwback jersey of him. Shout out BTJ.
Man, I had Evan Ingrams.
but looking at the fact that we don't have a noon game, I love it. And also that means all the flex games either going to be 3:30 or they're going to be at 8 o'clock.
Because if nothing else, this is a great thing because it shows people give a damn about what's going on with the program right now and the momentum that's happening with the team. And
I 100%.
if DJ Lagway was just some regular dude off that's just a run-of-the-mill college quarterback, then we wouldn't be having these games. But that's just not the case.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, and people expect him to have a great season. His first season as a starter, and there's a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. If things really click right with the new coordinators and stuff. So I'm really excited about what's going on, and so apparently is the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Lock in.
right here. I agree with him right here. Because for that to be the case, because think about it, I think Georgia's got a couple of noon games.
I think this is a down year for Georgia. And I say that down year for Georgia, meaning they still probably win 9 football games. But I do think that this is the year we've seen them kind of take a little bit of a step back and rebuild a little bit. Kirby is, one of the best to do it in college football currently. And so it won't be long, right? But I do think that there is the possibility that this is the season to grab Georgia. This is the season where they're just kind of a tick behind where they have been for the last several years.
Hell, do you like his damn hamstring thing explode last year? Last year was the year to get Georgia too.
100%.
Yeah, right.
100%. And I think that, I think we got a great shot to beat Georgia this year, which I definitely would not have said the last 3 years.
Yeah,
This is the first season where I'm not walking in like, oh my God, we're playing Georgia.
Yeah.
Which is something I haven't done ever in my lifetime, really.
Right. It's such a weird feeling for those of us that, were around for a lot of Georgia dominance.
right.
No, for sure. I think for me, like going to the season, like I told guys in the Georgia Florida group chat, I said, "This
What?
is the first
Hold
time."
on. The
Oh,
what?
Georgia, Florida?
The what?
Yeah,
group?
it's
Come on, bro. Go reverse the
Georgia.
names, brother. I don't like that.
Oh, sorry, Florida, Georgia, Florida, Georgia.
There you go.
Georgia.
You know I'm from
Get
Georgia.
it right.
But yeah, so we have a group chat with Fruit guys. Shouts out to my guy Larry on Twitter, my guy. But I told him, I said, guys, this is the first time I think probably since 20. I don't know when, maybe 2016, that I've said Florida has the advantage in the trenches this year on the offensive side and the defensive side. I think we have guys that will end up going first round on both lines of scrimmage. And then even when you look at the linebacker play, I feel like Florida has an advantage at linebacker. We should be able to do a pretty good job this year of shutting down, but stopping it, mitigating any type of activity they may have or success they may have. Last year we did a good job as well. We just had a unfortunate situation with Lagway, but I don't see why we can't control the game in the line of scrimmage in Jacksonville this year. That's just me speaking.
One of the things,
it's gonna be like October, November. So like we'll see how they look by then.
Yeah.
But I got all the confidence in the world in this roster and with the players here that I think we'll have a successful year up to that point. And I'm ready for that game. And as far as the early part of the season, like we know the schedule's the schedule. And that's just what comes with playing at this university, playing the SEC. So I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about any game. I think they're going to beat anybody on the schedule and beat anyone in the country on any given Saturday. So I'm ready.
Fact.
One of the things, too, I feel like we will be more prepared in is backup quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Harrison Bailey and Jones from Mandarin are some world beaters and, they have all the intangibles, but they're more fit and competent than what we went out with last year, if that makes sense. So also, I will say that with Georgia, them adding guys like Branch from USC doesn't scare me because Mike Bobo is still calling offensive plays. When Bobo was retained, that told me everything I needed to know. And then for them to not fight for Carson Beck back, even though that shows me everything. Now, Gunnar Stockton, to me, was their best quarterback in that room when it comes to skill because he can run and throw. But I don't think it's enough development in his game that'll scare us or to do much against us. Like Stetson Bennett had the experience, so that's what made him good, even though I don't think he was all that either. But I like us in November 1st. That's all I got to say. Gators on top.
I'm glad you brought up Zachariah Branch because I think everybody here can agree he went to the wrong school, and the school he should have went to has about 1 million different uniforms, and that school is the Oregon Ducks.
That would have been a good fit for him. Well, I hate that everything happened to Evan Stewart, but that would have been a phenomenal fit for him right now.
Oh, don't worry, they just got Decorian Moore to go in there and have over 1,000 yards as a freshman. They'll be all right.
That does say something about Kirby Smart. Says he be tricking these wide receivers to come to this damn offense that doesn't give you any real production from that position. I don't know how he does it, but hey, keep not using them. I'll take it.
But here's the thing, though: Oregon didn't want Branch's brother, though. Like that was a deal breaker for him, including his brother. So you know how Georgia gets. So
that is true because the brother ain't gonna play at Georgia. So I mean I get it, but it's just the wrong fit. And like you said, Mike Bobo is still calling the plays. So that told me everything I need to know too. And even Georgia fans, they know it. DJ don't get hurt last year. Yeah, they knew how that game was going. We all know how that game was going before he hurt his hamstring.
Mizell over the top, bro. Listen, boy, we about to be B.O.B. bombs over Baghdad with this receiver room. You hear me? What's his name from UCLA? Man,
Sturdivant,
yeah. Come on, dog, bro. We got some weapons.
I think people keep forgetting about Trey Wilson has another level to reach. I think he's put on a lot of muscle mass.
Healthy.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, man, I mean, we got us something really about receiver room.
Matter of fact, while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and break down the receiver room real quick because there's a lot of guys who do multiple roles and multiple spots and that are really, really talented in that room. Probably the most talented in that room since 2020.
Yeah,
for me.
Or 2019. Shoot, both are. Oof.
Yeah, 19 because we still had Van.
Yeah, Van Jefferson and Josh Hammond.
And Swain and was still there too, yeah.
Yeah. That's about right.
That's true. I agree. That wide receiver room is. And then the freshman that came in, my God.
Just don't include.
I'm hoping everybody will stop the Billy Gonzalez slander because I for some reason I feel like everybody always hates him and says he's not a good recruiter or he's not a developer or whatever. When actually all he's done is recruit talent and develop it and send it to the NFL. He's not flashy in any way like some of our other coaches have been over the years, but I feel like he gets the damn job done.
Yeah,
hey, Billy G. I'm sorry, man. I never said nothing wrong. I never once said that you wasn't good. I never once said a thing. I always thought you was like that, Billy G.
Yep.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, Billy G.
There was a whole era. There was a whole era where we were blaming every single coaching staff on the team. Not coach staff, but coach on the coaching staff, just because we sucked. Everybody was horrible in our eyes, and that just wasn't the case. Like Billy G. has done his job at UF. He's the reason why we have so many receivers.
He's got his job everywhere he's been. Honestly, though.
And the funny thing is, we blame every coach. The one coach that we didn't hardly blame was him.
Yeah.
He's recruiting. I mean,
he's pulling his end in the bargain. I know when he came back, I was like, okay, retreads. I've never been a big fan of guys coming back because that usually never ends well. But hey, he's done his end in the bargain every single time he's been here, every stop he's been at. So I'm locked in with it, and he keeps giving us good players, and these guys are developing.
The transfer portal guys that get brought in is impressive. I feel like Florida's. If you had to pick a single position that Florida has done best from the transfer portal, it's got to be wide receiver, right?
Yes.
Ricky, Badger, DK.
I mean, I don't. Just think about where those guys went in the draft versus where they were slotted to go had they left school instead of gone to the transfer portal, or even just what our opinion of them was in general from the school they came from. I just feel like he helped elevate their stock in such a short window of time.
Just think about it like this. Elijah Badger didn't get drafted, but he got picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh
and they're definitely going to find a way for him not only to make the roster, but to have an impact on that team.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about who he is. Number one, how hard he works, but just who he is and what kind of player they think he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got some good wide receivers in Kansas City. I mean,
do they?
Well, Rasheed.
Yeah,
Rice,
Marcus, they're a little suspect to me, but I'm gonna let him cook.
Well,
I'm gonna say that receiver was not good. I like Rasheed Rice, but that receiver was not.
I like Rasheed Rice. So, well, you got to
come off knee injury, yeah, but still, I think he'll be fine.
So that doesn't help. But Hollywood Brown, when he came back, he actually was pretty decent for them. So he's not terrible. It's not great. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible. I will say this: I think Badger could bring. I think Badger brings a lot to that wide receiver room.
So he can bring some verticality to it, which we haven't really had in a minute.
Something that they need. And it goes to show, like, Billy Gonzalez just knows how to develop these guys. No matter what star you are, well, somewhat does a little bit, but for the most part, he brings them in, he develops them, they're out to the NFL. And it's been like that everywhere he's been, everywhere he's coached. These guys that he's recruiting and coaching are going to the NFL. Yeah. It's an easy recruiting pitch for that position. And on top of that, that's the one position that Billy Napier loves to recruit because he has that background as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. Then now he gets an opportunity to coach one of the best freshmen. I mean, it's one of the best freshmen that I've seen at wide receiver in a spring game in like years. Dallas, that's a special kid. Like he is amazing. He has all the tools. He runs routes very well, like an experienced veteran. He's strong. He's physical. And one thing about Dallas people, recognize his confidence. He doesn't feel like anybody can cover him. Like when you watch him, his swagger is different, man. He has like a nastiness to him. It's amazing.
I mean, to be 6'3", 200 pounds, to be a physical receiver, but also be able to take the top off the defense is something we haven't had in a while.
He looks like Jamar Chase. I'm not even exaggerating.
That is lofty.
I'm not
The kid
exaggerating.
talented though. I will say that the boy talented.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm so dead serious. And I don't really talk crazy, but he reminds me of him as like a freshman.
Oh, you definitely do talk crazy, Jerry. I don't know about that one.
Treon Harris was 11 years ago, man. It was 11 years
We're
ago.
not letting you live that. We're not letting you live that down. You said Treon Harris for Heisman.
All right, so let's look at our receiver room. But when y'all mention numbers, please do not bring up 22. I beg of you.
Please don't. I like Khalil Jackson. I have a lot of respect for Khalil Jackson, but it's 2025, y'all. Enough.
Phil Jackson, we love you, but yeah, you might possibly be the odd man out.
Might be.
Yeah, you more than likely the odd man out. Because
We could be surprised he might end up just saying, screw it, I'm going to just work hard and find my way and carve myself a role. But looking at talent here and looking at the things these guys could do, it ain't looking good, bro.
Allie, did you go to the spring game?
I did not go to the spring game. We had a conflict with a STEM fair for school, so I did not. I did not make it up, unfortunately.
I'm telling you, like you're gonna be super impressed.
Yeah.
By that guy, by the receiving core in general. Like, they're just good. I mean,
yeah.
I'm
really excited to see what happens with Tank Hawkins. I think that he is incredibly talented. Vernell Brown played with Eric, and so watching VB3 do this is pretty cool, I think, for all of us, although it makes us feel incredibly old. But to be fair, he was on the sidelines during at least part of that, so like maybe I'm not that old. I don't know. But I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see Trey Wilson stays healthy. I am excited to see Dallas Wilson. I just think it's kind of an embarrassment of riches there right now, as long as everybody lives up to the hype and what we think that they're capable of doing. And a key to this is going to be, is the offensive line going to be as good as we think it's going to be? I personally think it's going to be as good a line as we've had at Florida since the Pounceys played there, which, is obviously high praise, but I also feel like we went through this giant drought where we had horrific offensive lines for what felt like years and years on end. But, when we return 4 out of 5 starters, including Slaughter, and we've signed a couple of good classes in a row, we should actually have maybe some of the depth that we've been missing, in the past there. And as long as they are what we think they're going to be, we know Lagway is who we think he is. And then you couple it with these wide receivers, and a running back is maybe the room that we worry about the least, right? It's incredibly packed. So they're on paper, this offense should be ridiculous.
I just got one question. I hate to do this to both of us, Jerry. Which state sounds crazier?
What now?
Dallas Wilson looking like Jamar Chase, or me saying Nashawn Montgomery, if you watch him, reminds me a little bit of Justin Jefferson?
I would say the Nashawn thing. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Not yet.
Just saying. I'm not saying he's him. He's that yet, but I'm just saying, the way he plays, it kind of reminds me a little bit of him. Just the way he plays.
I got you.
Smooth route running, ability to pretty much catch every ball thrown towards him. Just finding ways to get open.
Yeah.
There was one play I think everybody has seen that kind of went viral on the internet, and I'm there watching. I'm like, what is happening? So Ben Hanks, who's a very talented young corner, is covering Dallas, and Dallas catches the ball, starts running, and he gets him by the helmet and like throws him down. And I'm like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, just a monster, an absolute freak of nature.
It should have been getting ready for his high school prom.
Right.
Over the game.
For everybody's sake, yeah.
There's been a lot of talented freshman wide receivers coming down the pipe through the years, especially last season. We all saw what Jeremiah Smith did in Ohio State. You know that probably has some bad memories for some of us in this damn podcast, but it's really talented kids, and I really think Dallas Wilson can be of that ilk if given the opportunity. And hopefully, with the offense running here, he'll have every chance in the world to show that he's that guy and he is of that type of ilk.
Right.
And there's a lot of guys like musicians in this damn offense where it ranges from we have no worries about you whatsoever. That is elite. That's what it looks like. From quarterback to wide receiver to running back. You got offensive line where you got guys coming back. You have a guy who has a damn brick, which hadn't happened in a minute here.
Yeah.
And then guys who have a lot of experience and who've played together a lot of games. Jake Slaughter, I'm sorry. I never once said anything bad about you. I never once said I don't trust backup centers. But anyway, that was then. This is now. You were All-American. We don't have to worry about none of that. I have no worries about you. And even Damian George, when you moved to guard, I don't have that many worries about you now either. Can't believe I'm saying that.
That is very true though, because once he moved to guard, everything changed for him. Now we still got to worry a little bit about the holding calls, although he did kind of cut down on them last season.
Yeah.
But moving to guard, his natural position.
It cut down on the loafing too, which that was the thing that bothered me.
That wasn't great. But hey, that's kind of a thing in the past right now as it stands. But again, that's a position group. A lot of guys play a lot of games, a lot of experience, which is what you need in college football because it ain't easy to recruit an offensive lineman. It isn't. So you got some depth behind us, and we got guys that can play. What's Miss AB?
And see, we just got to be talking about the wide receiver room and what they can do. You got to deal with that for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, you got to deal with this 4-headed monster in the running back room.
Yes.
Or 5-headed monster in the running back room with Jaden Ball, Jacoby Jackson, Trayon Webb when he comes back from injury, and Haiti Daniels.
And Waltez is a nice running back himself.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And Byron Lewis is going to be on campus very soon, if not already. That's another we're adding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good mix of experience, a good mix of young guys who have a lot of talent and have a lot to prove.
Like this
Definitely,
is,
man. I think
talented roster we've had in a while.
Now, as far as like position concerns on offense, I think we only really, I wouldn't even call it a concern, but I would say it's probably our quote unquote weakest position. Probably would say tight end, but I feel
that's what I was gonna get at because we have a lot of position groups that are like super elite and other position groups that are really experienced, and tight ends like reliable. It's probably not gonna be like the biggest focal point of the offense, but if you have to throw them the ball, they're not gonna embarrass themselves, and they're not just guys who are clear just blockers who can't run after the catch.
Block for us, honestly. I don't even need you to actually catch the ball. I just need you to be able to block.
But see,
give me a couple of Hayden Hansen catches a game, I'm good.
Right. He came in as the blocking tight end, and Arlis Bordenham pass catching tight end. And the funny thing is, Hayden Hansen turned into our most reliable tight end for both.
Yes.
Play Amir Jackson. He better.
Amir is super talented.
I think he's gonna play a good amount this year too. Like he's got to play this year.
I like him over Tony. Hansen my favorite though, but Amir Jackson need to play over Tony.
Yeah, sounds cute.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I mean, because the talent is there.
Yeah.
You got to put it out there. You got to put him out there.
I knew Tony was unserious when he came out Texas A&M game with no gloves on. He was on.
Oh man, I was like,
he was on some wild. That was wild timing, bro.
I looked. I said, "What this Negro got going?" I said, "What tight end don't wear gloves?" I'm like, "Bro, get him out of here."
Think of 1974, man. Like, bro, if you don't get them damn gloves.
No, I was super confused, bro.
You know, me and Jerry had to suffer through the rain.
Yeah.
And watch a certain DB get spun around in the air like a damn ballerina.
That was rough. I would do want to ask before we switch to the defensive end. I'll start with Allie. So, like, what are your takes on the play calling shares? I think the only thing that could stop us would be the lack of play calling and maybe some pride there at giving up some of the duties there. How do you feel about that?
So, y'all have had me on your show before, so you know exactly how I feel about the play calling.
Yeah.
I am interested to see if Napier has evolved in his thinking on this. I don't, and I've probably told y'all this too, I don't mind the scheme as a whole. I think his offense has the ability to be really productive. And I think we have the right talent to fit the scheme. There's situational play calling that makes me want to rip my hair out at times. And, I don't know if you guys saw, there was I want to say it was Will Miles from Read and Reaction, but somebody did an article where essentially they had gone to the coaching clinic that UF puts on, and UF had put up their slides for what they run through in practice. And essentially what they had said is that they practice the most the plays that get used the most. And so there's an analytic that they run to tell you what percentage each play is actually used in a game, and they practice it that amount of percentage. And essentially what it showed is that the plays they use on third down are used the least, so they practice them the least. And essentially anything we practiced more than average, Florida was successful at. Anything we practiced less than the amount of time it was used, or right at the average or whatever, we weren't successful at. And so it was such an interesting conversation, because they were saying like that they really felt like the key to our missteps wasn't necessarily that the wrong things were being called. It's that we didn't necessarily know what we were doing. And we were using these stats wrong. So I'm really hoping that this is something that the coaching staff has made some adjustments on moving forward, because your high value plays, your money downs, right? Like those should be practiced almost the most, right? More than anything else. And they're what we're practicing the least. And you perform how you practice. So if you've practiced something 30 times, but you've practiced other plays 100 times, no wonder the plays that are used 100 times work. You practice it perfectly until you can't do it wrong, and then you will be successful on game day. So that's something that I found interesting. Another thing that I am going to be interested in watching is that I was told that one of the things this coaching staff has told to some of our boosters, our kind of high dollar boosters, is that, don't worry, Lagway is not going to run on first and second down that's not something that our line's going to have to be concerned about, because he's not going to take off on first and second down. I hope that's not something we script, because it may be keeping our offensive line from having to worry about too much, but it's also keeping the other team's defense from having to worry, too much too. The magic of DJ Lagway is that he is capable of beating you in multiple ways, but every one of those tools has to be in his arsenal for every single play for him to be as dangerous as possible, right? So I know you want to keep him safe, and there's obviously going to be a drop off between your starting quarterback and your backups, and we want to make it through the whole season with him. So I'm not saying he should take off and be an idiot, but I hope the reins are removed in a way that makes all of his skill set as dangerous as possible for us on offense.
I hope that in a situation where they got spooked with him from the Georgia injury, I was like, that was just kind of a freak occurrence where his foot got caught in a divot on a bad field. That's something you don't want to take away from a kid, because if the defense knows that he's mobile and he can make plays from every part of the field, he can throw from every angle, but he's just going to stand there in the pocket on first and second down, he's not going to really take the open lane, or they're not going to script him to, use his legs, then that's kind of handicapping what you can do as an offense. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Especially the big games where you absolutely need him to do everything humanly possible to get any type of hidden yardage. Like, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Just keep it in. Do it occasionally. You don't have to turn him into like 2010, 2011 Cam Newton. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But have him use his legs every so often, just as an off-speed pitch.
Marcus, fix the field in Jacksonville, man.
Well, it ain't my fault we play games over there, and then you gotta divvy it up and change it to the college dimensions and all that. Like, it is what it is.
By the way, I wanted to make an appearance for y'all.
Oh, I love your dog. What was the name again, Eddie?
Milo.
Milo, yeah.
Looking, and he wanted to make an appearance.
You didn't put him in the orange and blue?
I didn't put him what?
In the orange and blue?
No, he can't wear that just yet. He's not big enough yet. But he does have one. He does. He does have it on his collar though, somewhere.
It's all right, Milo. We'll get you right, bro.
And we'll get you. We'll get you situated.
Yeah, his collar is Gator collar. So
Don't put that loser star on him though.
oh, he get one of them. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
He
finna put number 1 on him, huh?
I ain't gonna do that to him. I'm gonna just let him have his little Gator jersey whenever he can wear it. He gonna wear that every week.
That's facts. But like what I don't want to see, I don't want to see Lagway this year turn into 2022 Anthony Richardson. Not meaning like, passing wise, but just the whole, is he going to run? Why isn't he running? Is he hurt? Or, is he trying to protect himself? Like it was a whole thing going on. And then magically against Texas A&M, he's like turned into Cam Newton. And it's like, dude, where was this all year? So that's what I don't want to see. I want to see DJ be comfortable, do what needs to be done. Just be himself, like don't limit yourself. Go out there and make plays necessary to win a football game.
But just let him play his game. I mean,
yeah.
Let him run, not too much. Like we don't want to run the ball 25 times, man. We don't need that. But just let him run whenever he needs to. Like implement a little bit more zone read. Dude, I mean, you have that weapon in the backfield with that running back room. The guys you have at that position.
Quarterback draw when you got the numbers, stuff like that.
Look, eight carries, 50 yards, a touchdown. I'm happy.
I ain't gonna lie. The thing that Ali said that kind of got me is that the staff didn't know that the plays that you practice the least, you would have the least success with. Yeah. Like Billy was at Clemson with Taj Boyd and all those other guys that they had. He was also at Bama as a receiver coach when they were winning natties. And when he was coaching at Arizona State, they had a efficient offense. So my thing is, how is this something that you didn't realize? You were a head coach at the University of Florida, a SEC school.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that supposedly if you go back and look at the practice scripts from Louisiana, it's exactly the same, too. And so, like, the stats transfer over from both stops that, like, he is not practicing the third downs as much as he should be. And so I don't – how that hasn't been rectified yet or how somebody, that just comes to practice. Like how many NFL coaches come and hang out at college practices and stuff that somebody hasn't like said, hey, this doesn't make sense. Or have they? And he said, no, this is the way we're going to do it, which is actually the more concerning, I think.
So like, Ali, how like, as we watch the games, right? So like we know Billy has his go-to first and second down plays, but when we get down like 10 or 13-0, 14-0, he like runs a completely different offense. Seems like he opens up, I guess, a little bit. Yeah. And so my question there is, did we not practice those plays? Because those seem like third down and long plays that we start running when we're down in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you would think I need to go back and find this article and I can send it to you guys when I do. But essentially it just was red zone offense was also something we didn't run quite as much, but it was mainly these short third down situations that and it's because on first and second down, we are efficient for the most part, and that is, but we practice those things over and over and over again. And so I don't know, it just was kind of disconcerting, and it's being presented at a coach's clinic where it's being presented like this is great too, which is also, I guess, a little bit disheartening, but I'm going into this season with you've got all your guys, right? It's 95% Billy players. They are 1,000% bought in, right? They are these players love this coaching staff. They love playing for him. They believe in what's being sold at Florida, which is huge. That's a big factor in success. And so it's going to be, you're going to live or die by how you call your plays. That's the intangible here. That's the only question mark, but he's going to have to own it for good or for bad. So I'm just fingers crossed that, now that all the right pieces are in place, it's going to look different.
Hey, can we elaborate on that last comment shared? Pops, BJD. Let's talk about this for a second.
Okay, so I'm down to hear that.
So let's get into it. So as a Gator fan, we're a realist. We know what we're getting with Billy. Does he have room for improvement? Yes. You are a Georgia fan. I'm not sure how old you are, but Mike Bobo was there in what, the 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah.
If you go to Facebook or Twitter, I still call it Twitter, you can search Fire Mike. You're going to see thousands of Fire Mike Bobo. Georgia fans literally, I knew some fans on Facebook that declined their season tickets when they saw that Bobo was coming back. Bobo sucks. He sucked in the 2000s, he sucked in the 2010s, and he sucks in the 2020s. You have 3 different decades of mediocrity. Matter of fact, of incompetence at offense. You had Matthew Stafford, Aaron Murray, and Jake Fromm in accounting for what? Nothing. You didn't win the SEC championship between DJ Shockey until Stetson Bennett. So please miss me with this Mike Bobo Billy nonsense. Now, it's our job as fans to cook Billy. You know, we hold him accountable because this is our team. We want to win. You just now experienced some winning. Because I'm pretty sure you don't remember the 80 when Herschel was playing with those big old hard helmets.
He wasn't
with them World War II face masks. But anywho, you need to focus on your offense. Why all y'all 5-star receivers are hitting the port? Matter of fact, why did y'all have a boatload of kids transfer to Purdue? All those top 40 kids, top 200 kids that y'all love to brag about. Oh, recruit national champs. Okay, so why are your blue chip receivers leaving? Why y'all running backs are thinning out in the NFL? Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that since you want to talk about offense. You want to talk about coaching. You want to talk about development. Let's talk about that.
Hold on, Sauce. With this comment right here, if that's the case, he literally just made your point. He literally just made your point. Because if Bobo didn't coach Fromm and they won the SEC, should tell you a lot about him. Like you said, you had Matthew Stafford, who was the number 1 overall pick. Yeah. And the reason why he was the number 1 overall pick, not really because of what he did. It wasn't because of the coaching at Georgia. They saw Mike Bobo was like, I can kind of see why you were a little held back, but we see the arm talent. We see what you can do. Boom, number 1 pick to the Detroit Lions. Won a Super Bowl with the Rams when he went there. Gonna be a future Hall of Famer. We know that. We know the talent there. Ain't because Bobo developing him. That's because he was just that damn good.
Man, I done seen Georgia waste running backs, tight ends, receivers. Man, them boys wasted Michael Mitchell. They wasted Eshaun Easley. They ain't even win with Chubb and Sonny Michel. Like, come on, bro. Todd Gurley, JJ Green. Like, come on, bro. All these blue chip. Matter of fact, y'all had Bryce Ramsey punting. This was an All-American quarterback out of high school. Come on, bro.
Mike Bobo. If you're watching, man, what's going on?
Listen. The boys, Georgia fans can't talk to me about no offense. You can't talk to me about no coaches, no quarterbacks, none of that. Please miss me with it.
We'll give you defense because Jalen Carter is the best defensive tackle in the NFL today. Yeah. Listen, we ain't gonna lie about that. So we'll give you that one. But other than that, nope. Nate Frazier, get out while you can.
I just think it's interesting. You know, I hate to go on a Georgia thing, but I think it's interesting looking back because Georgia not winning this past year. I felt like they won it in 2021 and 2022, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this, dude. Georgia's never going to suck again. They're going to be great for the next 20 years of Kirby Smart. And then, like last year, you kind of see Georgia become somewhat human. And it was like a weird experience for me watching that. And then I think Bobo is a part of the reason why. You have to take a step back as a coaching staff, as a fan base, and put your pride aside and say, hey, this is an issue.
But I will say this, though, Jerry. The other reason why they didn't look human is now with NIL coming in, they can't dominate recruiting like they used to.
That's true.
Nobody's backups are what they used to be either, because if you're that good, you're not waiting your turn, you're jumping ship and going somewhere else and getting paid to do it.
So true.
Exactly. So now there's so much more parity around the college football. Let's go back 5 years and let's see Notre Dame and Georgia play. Who 5 years ago would have thought Notre Dame would come close to beating Georgia?
Yeah.
Me.
And now, and then we saw that in the playoffs this past year. Notre Dame dominated that game. We have not seen Georgia get dominated like that in a while.
Wait a minute.
I wasn't even shocked Notre Dame won the game. I actually didn't win that one, but I didn't expect them to just dominate them the way they did.
That's true, Pops. I definitely agree with that, bro.
And Georgia was the only team Texas really had an issue in the SEC with. So let's be honest. And they're gonna have another problem this year when they come down to games. But I'm just put that out there now because we not about to we even lose 50 to 17, whatever it was. That ain't happening again. You won't be seeing Aiden Warner play quarterback.
Yeah, also the key is, man, I think the Texas game last year, as we transition over to defense, is that I feel the defense just did not have a lot of energy in that game.
They'd given up before anybody took the field. They were just like, you know what, we're not going to win this one, so let's just not get hurt, get home, and see what we can do from there. Like it I don't know if you guys went to that game. I went to that game, and
Texas?
There was not a single moment where Florida thought Florida was in that game. And I understand we didn't have Lagway, but we had a lot of other people, and there was so little effort. It was wild.
And, like, they had moments in that game early, and then after that, it's kind of like, you know what, we did all we could do.
Yeah,
let's just get up out of here.
Yeah,
and they ran the ball well in the second half. You actually,
that was also because they'd had their third string guys in at that point. So.
That's a big handicap.
Pops, we can definitely agree on this. I'm not saying the boy not good. We just got to see it for a whole SEC season. I'm not going to crown him as the number one quarterback in the SEC because of who he's related to. We're not going to do that.
I mean, I can say this about any first-time starting quarterback in anywhere.
Sure.
Like, this is just kind of what's going to be.
Right.
Like, talent's there, and it's a talented team around him. But we'll just got to see what happens when he actually.
I mean, it's like James Florida State when he first got the starting job. We had to see it, and then that first game against Pitt, we was like, okay, we've seen enough. The boy is good, and we saw what happened. Like, you just have to see it with these guys now.
I think he's the fifth best.
Wait, what'd you say, Sauce?
Good, Sauce?
Oh no, I was just saying I think he's the fifth best quarterback in the SEC entering the season.
See that?
Lagway, Sellers.
Yeah, Lagway and Sellers are the guys that we pretty much know. These are two alpha dogs. And even those two, once everybody knows who you are, you got to be prepared for defenses throwing the kitchen sink at you. So even though we know Lagway is like possibly a generational talent, you need to be prepared for defenses to throw different things at him, for teams to try to rough him up even. It's gonna be tough.
is even ahead of Manning, I think.
Well, like Garrett Nussmeier too.
Experienced, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, with the experience, yeah, I can see that. And
this is probably the best years for quarterback in the SEC in a while.
John Mateer at Oklahoma, I like him a lot. What he did at Washington State, I like what he brings to the table for Oklahoma. I think they clearly upgraded that quarterback.
Now
there's a good mix of like good quarterbacks and fun
Diego Pavia or whatever at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He's at least very good at running his mouth.
My God, that man's still at Vanderbilt.
Yeah. He doing his thing.
Did you see all the comments he made like in the last day or so where he talked about how like you don't even take the phone calls from the Big Ten when they call to try and steal you away from the program you're at? And he said that I want to say somebody offered him $4 million in the SEC to leave and go to their school. And he said, basically, we're going to win here at Vanderbilt. He had some very flashy things to say the last 24 hours or so.
I ain't never seen nobody from Vanderbilt moving like this ever in my life. It's just crazy.
Jay Cutler. He had a little bit of
Jay Cutler also had the arm talent to do it though.
I always forget he went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, remember we had to beat him in overtime in the swamp.
Yep. I do remember
that. That was really stressful.
Look, Jay Cutler was severely under recruited, Marcus. We didn't know he was going to turn out to be that.
Yeah.
Jay was him.
Hey, man, there's something to say about a QB who actually wanting to win at the school he's at. So I respect this from Pavia. Also, he beat Alabama. I'll say whatever the hell I want for the rest of the time.
Man, facts. Wow, I forgot about that. Now, like with all these quarterbacks coming back, and we expect them to be pretty dynamic. how do we feel like our defense is going to fare against them? We know we have in the front 7, but how do we feel about our secondary? Do we feel comfortable with getting pressure? How are we feeling?
Oh my God! I remember that line.
I blocked that out from my memory, and I hope they did too. But to answer Jerry's question, I think the speed on the field, in terms of like the front 7, I think is going to be a big plus when you have to go up against these quarterbacks in the conference, especially the linebacker room. Interior defensive line, I do have my questions about in terms of depth outside of Caleb Banks, but talent's there. We just got to see it develop throughout the season. Edges, I'm good with. George Gums, once again, I'm sorry.
He's not familiar.
Shout out Tyreek Sapp, welcome back. Getting guys to actively come back to the team after the success we had late in the season and convincing them, yo, we could really make some real noise throughout the entirety of next year. Please come back. Like, you can be a big part of this. And guys like Caleb Banks, who made themselves a lot of money down the stretch of the season, decided to say, you know what? I'm all in.
I will openly admit let's just be honest, we all question some of these takes out of the portal with guys like Gums and Banks, and
Well, we also watched the Texas A&M game with our own eyes last year.
Yeah, we sure did.
We did.
And what do I want to block that from my memory after watching that?
That's such a strange season for the defense because it went from like level like -2 to level 8 from August all the way up to November.
The
like 15,
effort switch was the wild part to me. It wasn't even necessarily like the skill or anything like that. Watching, I probably have been on their show since this Texas A&M game, but watching them warm up before the Texas A&M game, we sit like basically in the end zone. We were 3 rows up last year in the north end zone, and watching us warm up versus watching Texas A&M warm up on defense was like night and day. Like the game had not kicked off, and Eric's like, well, they're going to kick our ass. Look at the difference in how they warm. And then it's like literally exactly what happened. And there was just zero effort. But then fast forward to the end of the season, and you're getting like 100% effort out of everyone. And I just would love to know what flipped the switch, because it was such a 180, but a 180 in effort where you're coming off. I don't understand the idea of having 9 months off and then the first 3 games of the season having a low motor. Like that is so hard for me to explain. And then to be able to turn it on towards the end. Like, I don't get it.
And see, it goes back to the LSU game for me, because that LSU offensive line was not only one of the best in the SEC, it was one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
To see that Florida defensive line dominate that offensive line the way they did, told me everything I need to know. It's like, okay, this is a different. This is a completely different team. And you kind of saw glimpses of it against Georgia, and then DJ got hurt, and then they kind of just ran out of gas. And you came up in that Georgia game like, DJ don't get hurt, we probably win.
Yeah.
Then you go into this game against LSU. This is also very true. This is also very true.
Well, that also helps,
Helped a lot. But you just saw the difference. And I'm not going to say one player makes a difference in the fact that DJ's starting and now everybody's playing better, but it kind of seems like that's what it was. DJ's starting, and now it's like he just elevates the level of play from everybody else on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So to see that, not only against LSU, but against Ole Miss, the effort that defense played. I mean, you knew JJ McGee was going to get the ball in short yardage downs, and he couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And
I think we saw coaching, the coaching power on defense kind of changing as well. And I think that had made a difference. I don't know if you remember, but Napier made a comment about halfway through the season about how they started making practices more competitive, which, made my husband's head explode, because he played in the Urban Meyer era when every practice you were trying to kill each other. So the concept that you weren't maybe trying to kill each other at first was such a foreign concept, but they talked about making practices competitive, and that really like brought out everybody's A game. And, you should have been doing that from the beginning. But as soon as they realized that, it did make a difference. And I hope that's something that's been continued on. And it felt like just the clips I saw from the spring game and stuff, it does feel like that has continued on. Like, you have to get every ounce of competitiveness out of all of these players and just let them kind of beat the hell out of each other. That's where this greatness will come from.
Yeah, it's like almost. It's like the first game was like, okay, Miami they had one of the best offenses in the country. They did it to almost everyone. But 41-17 is still embarrassing no matter how you slice it. And
We would have
A&M,
beaten that team at the end of the season too, I think.
yeah, because that defense was bad. And then you got A&M, like they just kind of physically beat the dog shit out of us. Where, okay, you make plays first and second down. Good job. It's 3rd and 12. You let Marcel Reed just dice you up. And mind you, he was a backup quarterback at the time. Like we didn't know anything about him. And then all of a sudden, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11. He's just walking up down the field like it's nothing. And then all of a sudden the game just gets away from you, and then you're in a hole you can't get your way out of. And then fast forward all the way to LSU, all the way to the end of the season. They were getting stops everywhere. They got stops when they needed to. They tackled better. Guys were in position. Guys didn't blow assignments. Like, it was night and day. Like it was night, noon, and then day. Like that's how crazy the 180 it was from the defense.
Maybe the best coaching jobs anywhere the last 6 games of the season. I mean, the change was incredible.
Yes, Pops.
Yes.
They did all because Chris Couch is no longer on the staff.
Yes.
How great is our God?
Now,
Hey, no more 12 on the field. Everybody got one number. Ain't no changing numbers. People know where to line up. Oh, happy days.
If we have a single game where we have the wrong number out there, I will blow a gasket. This is 4 years.
We all laughed at the man, the special teams man.
We did.
That special
Many
teams
programs have it though. I mean, go for it. If it helps you get the right number out there, I think the underlying issue is that I still don't believe that this coaching staff puts the emphasis on special teams that it deserves, that they should. I think it is an afterthought. One of our prominent specialists told me basically like nobody cares about special teams. Nobody wants to play special teams. And for Urban, and it's someone whose only job is special teams, so they didn't have another option. But with Urban, you started on special teams. That's where you cut your teeth. If you couldn't play on special teams, you sure as hell weren't seeing the field anywhere else. And if you took a break, it was going to be on offense or defense. It was sure as hell not going to be on special teams. But I do think that that's maybe not just a Napier thing right now. I feel like programs as a whole have gotten away from the emphasis on special teams that they were maybe during the Meyer years and, 10 years ago, let's say. And that makes me sad because there is such a window of opportunity to win games. If you block a punt in a game, the stat is that you will win 90% of the ball games if you block a punt. So why that is not something that that we are trying to do every single game, or every team is trying to do every single game, is beyond me. And I wish special teams were the first period of the practice instead of the last period of the practice where everybody is already exhausted. And the emphasis should be there, but I do think we've come a long way. It's a lot cleaner than it was 3 years ago, but guys, just try not to kill me this year by having the wrong number of men on the field.
Just line up properly. That's all I ask for. 'Cause that's just rudimentary stuff you learn the first day of practice, the first day you put on pads. It's 11 guys on the field, not 9, not 10, not 12.
Somebody that watches my show sent me a shirt that says, "I almost always sometimes have 11 men on the field."
I will say, when I played in high school, after we did like our warm-ups and our, inside drill, the first thing we worked on was special teams. Every single practice. Whether it was kickoff, punt, kick return,
Yeah.
that was the first thing we always worked on. And I agree, they should put more of an emphasis on special teams because, like you said, you block a punt. Think about blocking a punt. That's a momentum-changing play right there.
But think about blocking a punt in the swamp at night.
Facts.
Think about what the momentum that stadium brings you when that happens. But I do also think maybe there's a possibility they feel like he has had to spend so much time installing the offense and defense and getting it right that he felt like that was the more important place to put their emphasis. But now that you've built what you want, can we now focus on special teams?
It's
Right.
a third of the game. That's not even just the block and punt that we all talk about. Like that's hidden yardage in the game that you can
100%.
find.
Right.
That's loose change you find in your pocket in the damn dry cleaner or whatever. Like
Well, and think
pinning
about
a team back if at like the 15-yard line versus them starting at the 30, like that makes a giant difference. Scoring,
Right.
being able to actually kick field goals and get points on the board on possessions that stall out. That's a
think of
huge
the
difference in a
insane
game.
penalty-
If you lose it by like 5, but
Yeah.
those 3 points you get make a huge difference instead
Think
of
about
getting
the
nothing.
insane penalties that we have had on special teams over the last 3 seasons, and things that moved the opponent's field goal kicker 10 yards closer. Things that there's just there's so many opportunities that were squandered, not even just in the punting and kicking game, but in the actual just penalties involved with special teams. We've seen some things that I've literally never even seen called in games before.
It's like imagine it's a 4th and 7. You make a great stop, and then you're offsides, and then it's 4th and 2, and then the coaching staff thinks about going for it, and they convert it. Drive continues.
What was the one? I think it was Kentucky 2 years ago. Was up there, and I don't even know what we did, but like one guy jumped over the back of another guy, and like it was literally a penalty I had never heard even called.
I have to watch. That is so funny. Yeah, that was really bad.
Hand on one of the linemen to help jump over. You can't do that.
Yes, but it was literally. I was like, okay, wait. Is this even a real penalty? Like
I think it's more of
Running over the center or something like that. Like things that you shouldn't be doing.
I think it's more of a safety issue though, as to why they call it though, because a lot of people used to get hurt on that, so now they implemented it as for safety. But talking about special teams, think about during the Urban Meyer days, guys like Chris Rainey were literally fighting to get on special teams.
Yeah.
We need guys doing that, literally fighting to get on special teams.
Yeah.
To go out there, like Chris Rainey pretty much said, blocking the punts was one of the best feelings he had at playing at Florida. Sometimes better than even scoring touchdowns. If he blocked the punt, that changes. It changes an entire game. You could be, let's say you're down 14-10, if you block a punt, immediate momentum shift, and now you get the ball. Let's say if you don't score on it,
Their own 30.
You're deep in their territory.
Yep.
Boom, score a touchdown. You go up 17-14. Now your defense comes back out there. They got a lot of confidence. They get another stop, force another punt. Now the offense, they're getting in the rhythm. Off that one block punt, you completely change the entire momentum of the game.
Yeah.
If your whole dream is to come in like, oh, I want to be the guy. I want to, maybe make to the NFL. Hey, guys play 15 years in the NFL playing special teams too.
Thank you.
1,000%.
And a couple of guys make it to the Hall of Fame.
And guys make rosters as undrafted free agents because they excel in special teams.
Right.
Absolutely.
Some of those undrafted free agents that made it on special teams, okay, the injury happens. Let's say they're a defensive player. Now they get out there and linebacker. Boom. Everybody sees how good you are at linebacker.
Bro.
Hey, that guy started on special teams. Now he's one of the best linebackers in the league.
Bro, do you remember Reuben Foster hitting Leonard Fournette?
Bro, he obliterated that man.
Reuben
That's
Foster,
his history.
anybody, you worried about whether that person was dead.
And the rest is history. And he became
Wilson
a
against A&M that
big-time
one
giant.
year.
Or I know everybody remembers
Alabama,
this.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I know everybody
Yes,
remembers
Speedy?
against A&M against Speedy Noyle.
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
I swear, did they ever find that piece of helmet that
That
popped
was crazy.
That helmet's in Waxahachie, Texas somewhere.
up? You do that now, you can forget getting kicked out of the game. You get hauled off the field by police.
Hell,
Yeah,
Terrell
man.
Davis been in his rookie year with the Broncos. He made the team because he played special teams.
It's
They
so
took notes of
important,
him
man.
because he played special teams. He made a big tackle in the preseason game, and the team took those of him.
Like, bro,
David
like,
Nelson made the Buffalo Bills because he played special teams.
imagine a guy like Tank Hawkins, or you got a guy like Katie Daniels, who we know who have talent, but you line them up, say, "Hey, go block this," because you run a 4-4, run 4-3, 4-2, go block it, and then you know what I'm saying? Like
For real, do that. But we need to for real do that, not just use him as a kick return. Like put him out there to try and get around the edge with his speed to block a punt.
Yeah.
yes,
If you have all these talented guys, but like not all of them are going to see the field, find some use for them somewhere in the
100%.
game.
Which ups your ability to hold on to them too, right? When there's other programs are coming knocking in the off season, because that's the reality that we live in now. But if you've gotten them play time, and which has then in turn also up their NIL value, you are more likely to hold on to your roster of guys that maybe aren't your starting wide receivers.
And
Correct, 'cause
Pop
they feel needed.
right on this. Like if you show you can do your job, know your assignments, and make plays on special teams, yes, a good coaching staff is going to find
100%.
for you on offensive defense. 100%.
It's a function of do something while you're doing nothing, right? Like these guys aren't all going to see the field, so find something for them to do. And guys are going to graduate next year. Guys are going to leave. Guys are going to get hurt. Or maybe, God forbid, that doesn't happen. But while that's not happening, you can find use on special teams. You could be a gunner. You could be a kick returner. You could be a punt returner. You could be the guy that blocks kicks. You could be the guy who like changes the game, who has this high powered offense that we're playing, that instead of starting at like the 30, you pin him down to the 12.
Shoot,
Like,
reason
that's
why we
valuable.
reason why we beat Ole Miss is because some special teams. We won that game, I think, largely because of our special teams. I think they muffed a punt and then they also missed a field goal.
Yeah, that stuff matters in the grand scheme of a 4-quarter game. In the game you end up winning by 5 and they miss a field goal, then those hidden or missing points will come back to bite you or come back to benefit you at some point.
For sure.
Speaking of Florida, I know this isn't the Florida Gators, but the Florida Panthers are now up 3-0. By the way,
They're doing what?
they're up 3-0. By the way,
Oh, it's over.
time to
I
throw
wouldn't say
the.
over. No one had this series ago. I wouldn't say it's over, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
Hey, Wade, that was the score of when I played NHL hockey earlier today. I beat the Oilers 3-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up because I do want to get into our schedule because we say we're going to talk about the schedule. This is what a lot of people have been waiting on, and this is where we either look stupid or we look like geniuses at the end of the day. So,
Or somewhere in the middle.
or somewhere in the middle.
Can we go ahead and chalk up game 1 as a win?
And
Yeah.
3-0,
well, I say
3-0.
4-0.
I'll take it.
Whoa.
Oh no. See that 4th game? Yeah, we definitely going down there to get our pick back.
Wait. Can we talk about this LSU game though? Like, when was the last time we beat LSU in Baton Rouge, man?
Don't matter. 2020.
See,
What receiver they have?
4-0.
They
Hey.
have James Jackson at B. 4-0.
I'm not gonna lie. At Texas A&M, at Miami, at LSU.
Make it 5-0.
I ain't gonna.
I can't make it 5-0. No, whew.
I can't do that. This is
I got us.
this is where it runs.
I got us losing to either LSU or Texas.
We ain't losing to Texas.
And either A&M or Texas is probably the one we drop.
I'm with Marcus. We're going to lose one of them, but hopefully we win both.
I
Okay.
think we should beat Texas A&M, and I think we should lose to Texas. I hope we beat Texas, but I think if you're going to line your rosters up, you've got to give the edge to Texas there, right?
So
That's
5-1.
a lot of talent on that roster.
There's a lot of talent. there.
There is, but
Yeah.
I
So
believe
either
that would be a night game, and I think DJ's going, considering the fact that he wanted to play that game last year and couldn't play, going to want to go out there and show up.
I think in order for us to beat Texas, our secondary is going to have to be developed and they're going to look really good. That's
Good news
my.
is they're going to have some tests earlier on in LSU and Miami, so teeth will be cut.
Wait, hold
There's
on.
some really good play calls you're going up against in the early part of the season.
Did we forget who Miami's quarterback is?
Yeah, they going to testify, right?
And we do remember him throwing 3 interceptions last season at Georgia against Florida, right?
I mean, you can't really I wouldn't say use transitive property in college football because that usually never works out. But
He doesn't, but I also think he has a significant less talented roster. And Miami has that.
that's true. Then again, I actually think they're kind of comparable because I didn't like any of those receivers in Georgia anyway.
Outside my house.
So looking at up to Texas A&M, we should be either 4-2, 5-1. We want to be 6-0, but 4-2 or 5-1.
4-2 is my absolute worst. What I think we should be. I don't think we should need to be at 3-3. I think 4-2. If you want to look at a successful season, 4-2 is where you need to be at right now.
That's what I'm
Mississippi
saying.
State.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of guys left. I will put it that way. That was a great offense, but a lot of those guys are gone.
Yeah, Isaiah Horton went to Bama.
Trader don't have hands. He has bricks for hands. And then that guy from American Heritage who's young, he's really nice. He reclassified. He's supposed to be a senior in high school. He's going to be good for them, though, but that's about it.
And them I don't trust. They're talented, but I don't trust them.
So we beat Mississippi State, Georgia dub, Kentucky dub.
So you're predicting us to lose any, I guess, is my question here.
I don't really see no L's unless, LSU, Texas,
my God.
Texas A&M should
I
be
think
three
there's a
teams.
difference between saying we'll be in every game, we have the ability to be in every game, and we'll go 12-0, which I will remind you, Florida has never done.
Well, hold on. They did one year. They just got the hell beat out of them.
lost. Okay,
So it didn't go 12-1. Good, got it. Cool.
they've never had a completely undefeated season.
Right. They had a 12-0 season. Twice, actually. Twice.
Yeah, because one year was probation, the other year.
Well, it
Fraser-
wasn't 12 games when back then either. It was 11, but
Oh, yeah. They had one 12-0 season. That was 2009, and then we
they
all
lost
know.
to Alabama in the SEC championship
Oh
game.
God, worst birthday party in my life.
My cousin.
I know Lil Jerry was depressed crying in his damn
Alabama.
cake and
Oh,
everything.
me and Sauce were together.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Why'd you have to tell your cousin? Why?
Anyways,
Yep.
Allie, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying my cousin caught a touchdown over us on Alabama. He was Alabama's tight end that year.
Oh, no.
I do remember.
Oh,
Colin Peak.
Pain.
Colin Peak.
Yep, he was 84.
He was tight end.
Oh.
Tight end. It was the cover of Sports Illustrated after that game. I was like, great for you. I also hate you.
Oh my
I
God.
knew you got that Sports Illustrated article straight from your hand to the trash.
Right? I'd probably actually have that cover somewhere around
She
here.
did not throw it away. She just doesn't get it.
This schedule is kind of hard for me to predict. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
I think the only L's I can see are at LSU because it is at LSU, and then possibly at A&M because first of all, I'm sick of playing A&M every year. Can Georgia play them every year? Damn it, I'm tired of playing them.
I know.
Now you know that's not gonna happen.
Man, give us some Arkansas or something, man. Like,
Yeah.
some.
All I'm saying, bro, like I know we got both Mississippi schools, so that's like something, but like give us Arkansas, give us something.
Bring us back
Jesus.
Vandy or South Carolina.
No,
man.
you ain't lying, man. You ain't lying.
I would love to play a South Carolina game last year.
I almost said a cuss word. I'm about dang on tired of playing at College Station. We done played that like 5 times. It seemed like
Yeah.
4 or 5 times.
Last year was our first game there in Gainesville, wasn't it? Since they joined the conference.
I think so.
Second.
No, second because Johnny Manziel against Matt Elam.
No. Because
That was
we played them
in
in College
College
Station.
Station. That was College Station. We wore all white.
it was 2017 when we wore them.
Gator.
Oh
green.
yeah, that game.
Small,
I brought that game out of my memory.
2012, we got him.
Felipe Franks with that funny run.
He was doing
Looked like run like a giraffe.
All right, so this is how I'm feeling, y'all. I feel like these last 2 games here. I feel like we win both. I feel like we beat Kentucky.
The end of the schedule is crazy.
Ultimately, I think we win every game at home except one. That's what I'm going to say about the home. On the road, I think we probably lose 2 road games.
I think we win every home game.
This schedule gets a lot softer past the Georgia game. I will say that.
I don't love Tennessee that late in the season. And part of that is that I have PTSD from 2001 when September 11th happened. So that game got moved to the first weekend of December. And we got waxed. Rex loses the Heisman. We lose the opportunity to go to the SEC title and potentially the national championship game. But I feel like I feel like every year we always say, damn, good thing we got Tennessee in the beginning of the year than the end of the year, because they always seem exponentially better by the end, and I just don't love seeing them at the end.
2001.
Ellie, I'm not gonna lie. I got us putting belt on them. I got us putting the paws on Tennessee.
I would love it.
2000.
They
I
get-
don't know what the guy QB in that room since Nico left, but
That's what I'm saying.
I feel confident.
Quarterback.
They made a trade. They made a trade with UCLA.
It's Buddy from Savannah. I forgot
State.
what's his name. He played at Calvary.
Yeah, what's the kid? What am I talking about?
Joey Aguilar, he went from App State to UCLA, and then when Nico went there, he went to Tennessee.
No, I'm saying they have a guy who's been there like a year or two from Savannah.
Dang, I can't think of his name.
Allie, you just had to bring up 2001. Though.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I literally have PTSD from.
That is the worst loss I've ever witnessed, whether watching or in person. Like, that is the worst Florida loss I've ever witnessed.
That is the most painful one for me. And, the week before is when Darnell Dockett twists Ernest Graham's ankle. So Ernest doesn't play in that game. He would have been healthy had we played in September. It just, I don't know.
And then we didn't even get waxed that game. We didn't get the two-point conversion.
I think we gave up like 300 yards rushing, though. Like an insane.
Travis
Stevens,
So,
right?
yeah, Stevens is one of the two.
And
Yeah.
Stevens would have been hurt when were supposed to play in September too, so he would never have even gotten that yardage against us.
Merklinger, that's who it is. Jake Merklinger.
Jake Merklinger, right?
That's who it is.
There we go.
That's who it is. He's actually a solid player.
Now, Allie, I will say I'm not saying we would have beat Miami that year in 2001, but we would have given
them a game.
We would have gave them a much better game than Nebraska did. I'd say that.
That's the best team to never win anything are the 2001 Gators.
I would agree if 2012 didn't happen,
Yeah,
We have no offense like that.
or 2015 when Will Greer got suspended.
Thanks.
That's more of a like woulda, shoulda, coulda. I just feel like the world almost exploded, so this game got pushed to December. But like that doesn't happen, and Florida plays for a national title.
Yeah, like once in like a tragedy happening in America versus you not knowing what you got from a GNC.
What you
is
got
really
from
different.
GNC.
Yeah, like that's a little different.
You could argue the 95 team being the best to never win one.
Yeah, but then they got their ass kicked by Nebraska. So I
Or
don't
the
know.
actual best team to win one.
I mean, they got there. They had the opportunity. They just got pounded. This team never got.
Yeah, they won the Nebraska Invitational as well.
You just got to go back and look at the numbers that game. You look at the numbers, you would think, oh, damn, Florida put up a lot of points.
They gave up 62 of them.
I think Crouch threw more interceptions than touchdowns that season, even though he won the Heisman, because he rushed for all of his touchdowns, and we still. Yeah. But that's what made Steve Spurrier change Florida's entire strength and conditioning program.
Wow!
He was so blown away that Florida got run off the field, essentially, that he came home and basically was like, "All right, we're changing everything," and that was the catalyst for that '96.
I keep seeing Tommy Frazier just shrug off 15 guys.
Wait, so was it not Crouch? Why am I thinking it was Crouch? It was Tommy Frazier.
Tommy.
You're right. It was Tommy Frazier.
I think Crouch beat Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, maybe that is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah, they killed Tennessee that year in their bowl game.
Yeah, I remember that. Because Tennessee they had Peyton Manning. Hey,
and Priest Holmes.
This is the guy you were thinking of, Merklinger.
Yeah, Merklinger.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it when I had reconnected.
So I could, like I said, the two losses I could see are LSU and A&M, simply because they're both on the road, and we don't know what we're gonna get from A&M. We didn't know last year, and then look what happened. And then LSU being at LSU, we know that's gonna be a night game. Around the bush.
I mean, I feel like Georgia's always a game like it's 50-50. Well, this year for me it's 50-50.
Yeah.
A game that I'm looking out for. Kentucky.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
enough.
We just excised the demon last year, but I think I don't know. Looking at the schedule, I don't know how you guys feel. We don't need to run the table for me, but we do need to win the games that we're supposed to win. That's where progress comes from. And Kentucky is a game we should win every single year, and that's one of the ones. And honestly, I feel like Texas A&M is a game we should win this year. So if we go there and drop that has me, I don't know, a little uneasy. Like if we lose to Georgia or we lose to Texas or even we lose to LSU, I don't like losing, but those
You're not
rosters
from those games feeling like, okay, I'm very concerned. If
correct. As long as we were in them, I would not, be overly upset by losing them. As long as we showed up, right? I don't need a Miami performance like last year or Texas A&M performance where it felt like nobody was even there from the beginning. But as long as we're in it, I'm okay with a loss to them. But a loss to Kentucky is a step backwards, in my opinion.
All I know is if we lost to Florida State somehow, some way, then just get rid of the season.
We're not.
It ain't happening because this Florida State team is not good. And it's not going to be good. But.
And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Looking at Ole Miss, the reason why I think we do beat them this year on the road is because they lost a lot of talent to the NFL. Like if you look at that latter half, the biggest team that we play after Georgia is Tennessee. Now Kentucky and what we went through at Mullen, that's not going to be a thing unless we have injuries, God forbid. Kentucky, don't see it. Florida State, don't see it. Tennessee is going to put up a fight because, like Ali said, at the latter half of the year is when they are in a groove. That's when they're functioning. But we shouldn't lose to them. Like we should not lose to them at home. If anything, like we should be getting our lick back because we literally was supposed to beat them last year in Knoxville.
Without some special teams miscues, we do beat them.
Hello. Adding the goal line issues on offense.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing too. Even though they play well at the end of the season, we do as well. But if we look at all the teams on the schedule, there's only 3 teams on there that'll really give us a run, and we could possibly lose. And that's LSU, Texas, and then I don't want to put A&M, but I'm gonna put them because that's a road game. You don't know what A&M team gonna show up, so I'm just gonna put them 3 for now. But I would say change them with Georgia. Maybe.
What's y'all's most important game on the schedule?
LSU.
LSU for me.
Georgia.
Got to win on the road. We win that game on the road, we should be rolling.
I agree with that. I think if we beat LSU, a lot of confidence will come for that, and I think we'll be all right.
And then go beat Texas, get that upset, and then that there is going to solidify what type of season we're going to have once we beat Texas.
And then also –
hold on. You just said it, Sauce. That Texas game is the most important game for me. It's at home. It's going to be a big game. I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody's going to pick us to win that game. That's why I feel like it's the most important game. You go out there and you get that win against Texas, it's going to set you up for the rest of the season.
If we beat LSU on the road, we are going to have college game day in Gainesville for the Texas game.
Hell yes, we would. I think Georgia is the most important game because I think this is the season we can get them. I think they will be a step behind where they've been, and I think that that's an important milestone. But I think the Texas A&M game is like the bellwether game because either you're going into it 5-0, and so you better not trip up against somebody that you have the ability to beat, or you're going to have just lost to Texas, and we're going to see, okay, can you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and is this season not over? Can you handle coming back from a loss and making a statement against a team that, again, you should beat? So I feel like it's not the most important game, but I think it's going to be one I'm watching as like a bellwether for what is this team made of.
Yeah, because my thing is that is your rival. If you can't beat them now, then I don't think you ever will.
What's Billy Napier's record away from the swamp since he's been at UF?
It's not good.
It's not good.
Not great, Bob.
2022, he was 1-3 on the road, 0-2 neutral. 2023, he was 1-4 on the road, 0-1 neutral. And then 2024, he was 2-2 and then 1-1.
Wait, which two did we win on the road?
So that means he's 5-12 away from the swamp.
Yeah.
Correct.
We beat Florida State on the road, and we beat
Florida State, and we also beat Mississippi State. Yeah, we beat Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that bogus penalty on Montrell Johnson they called.
So 5-12, bro.
That's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good, but this is also a far more talented roster than any of those teams were. So like, it's
Which
kind
means
of,
you have far less of an excuse.
there you go.
You know, this is a do or die. I don't think he has to make the playoffs to keep his job. I know there's a lot of people that feel that way, but I think he's got to win 9 games. But more so than what the record even is, he's got to be in every single one of these games. He is as talented or more talented than 95% of the teams we play. I think, you know, maybe LSU, so maybe less than 95%, but maybe Texas, LSU, and Georgia could potentially argue more talent. But there's no other teams we play that you can argue have more talent than Florida.
I think one thing, Allie, when you look at the schedule, I don't see any team on this schedule that has a more talented quarterback than Florida.
I agree with that.
I agree.
So we should be in every single game. We should be able to win every single game, in my opinion, just with that alone.
Yeah.
Which actually leads me to my question for y'all. So let's look at these 3 teams: LSU, Texas, and Georgia. If going into the fourth quarter of those games, let's say Florida is the game's tied or Florida's down 3 or something like that. Based off what we've seen last season, the way we ended the season, would you say you guys sort of trust the team a little bit more to go out there and get the job done in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta see LSU and how Miami shapes up too before I solidify it, because this is a new season. Even though I feel like they can ride last year, but you can't depend on previous years to hold you now, because think about it. Billy's first year, his best road game win was at A&M because how we came out in that second half, you know.
Right.
But for me, the toughest game is Texas because they're the only team on our schedule that made it to the playoffs. Everybody else did not. Now, South Florida had some fight. They gave them a fit.
Georgia did.
You say what?
Georgia and Tennessee did.
Yeah.
You talking about the 4?
Man, listen, Tennessee don't count. Them boys would just look at an Irish Georgia
trophy.
Man, Georgia ain't going back. So them two. Anywho, I ain't worried about T. Martin University. And then look, this is all I'm gonna say. Texas is that defining game. If we do what we're supposed to do with LSU and Miami, we have all the confidence in the world with Texas. Once we beat Texas, we should not lay down against A&M. If Billy keep his foot on people's necks, not get complacent, not get carried away with a lazy personnel usage and play calling, we do what we're supposed to do. We can win all 12 because Arch Manning is the only quarterback, him and Nuss, that should have some sort of success, even though I don't think they will have much success because I don't like LSU receiver room. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Texas has the most experience, and Sark is I feel like he's the best coach we're gonna play this year, not named Kirby Smart. So everybody else is built. Everybody else is built.
Yeah, and
he's by far the best play caller that we played this season.
Who, Heupel or who? Sark?
That gimmicky ass offense that Josh Heupel runs, bro.
I'm about to say it's not going to work in the swamp. It's not going to work in the swamp,
bro. They have not won the swamp since I was in kindergarten.
They figured that offense out. Everybody's figured that offense out.
Bro, listen, when Oklahoma and Tennessee played, I laughed. I said, boy, if y'all don't get this, man, come on, dog.
I'm not afraid of Bobby Hill coaching against us.
I mean, Ohio State was just that good last year. Just look at what they did to that Tennessee offense in the playoffs.
Tennessee wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs for real. Like, let's be for real. They're not better than Ole Miss or LSU, even though we ended there.
We kept them out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They wouldn't have been there had we not.
And they weren't better than South Carolina at the time either.
That's what
No,
I'm saying. They was there by default. Like that's why I said that I don't count their playoff experience for real.
It was what 10 teams. Someone had to fill that last couple spots. That was what it was.
Real quick, y'all. Georgia plays South Carolina this year, right?
You think?
I think they do.
Man, Georgia got the luckiest, easiest schedule for the millionth
They
year.
always have a good draw.
They every damn year they got the easiest schedule on the planet. Like, come on, man.
I find it very funny. Kirby Smart complaining and like yelling at the commissioner was so funny because brother, they give you an easy schedule every single year, bro. You don't play anyone.
They don't
And
play
then-
South
we
Carolina
not
this
play
year,
South Carolina this year.
bro.
They don't.
Man, come on.
They
now.
play Alabama, but like that's about it.
They play Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, us, Mississippi State, Texas, and Georgia Tech. I mean, their schedule's harder than it normally is this year.
Yeah.
Auburn, us, Texas are 3 losses off rip. I
You
don't know
think they're
who
gonna
else.
lose to Auburn?
Heck yeah. Who gonna cover Cam Coleman?
Who gonna throw Cam Coleman the ball?
Go over the ball.
They got a quarterback. I forgot the legit name. It's a black jet. No,
Oh.
they got a black jet.
You know what? No, you know what? Ashton Dan, I actually do like him a lot.
Get out of it. Kirby's gonna smack
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Get
Man,
out of
please. Hey, Lane Kiffin gonna get jet too now.
I'll believe that when I see it. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, look.
The schedules
don't-
are just inverted, but I don't think that that's an easy schedule this year.
No.
I think Auburn was an easier game last year than it'll be this year.
Man, they losing 3.
They playing quarterback, and it'll be harder.
They gonna lose 3 or 4 of them things, man.
3 or 4.
I don't know.
They're
I don't know
losing-
about
they're
that.
losing
I still
two.
got to win 10 games. Just
I think
because.
Gunnar Stockton is not
They're
winning
losing
10 games.
2, but it's still a step
He
back.
said it was gonna be Gunnar Stockton.
I agree.
Who gonna be the quarterback? Rashad or Gone?
Rashad.
Look, in my opinion, I'm not being biased.
Somewhere else.
I think Gunnar Stockton is tough. He's tough. Like, he's tough. I'm not saying he's like tough good. But
Yeah,
he's a tough kid.
Yeah, because we saw his ass get thrown around like a rag dog against Notre Dame. Yeah, we know he's tough.
Do not underestimate what Kirby Smart can do with a tough son of a gun at quarterback.
Listen.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm a
His
Gunnar Stockton
insurance
fan.
sales are.
That-
I'm a Gunnar Stockton fan because I'm from Georgia. So like I watch all the high schools. Like I loved his game. He reminded me of like a Nick Fitzgerald, a Dak Prescott at Mississippi State,
exactly.
a G5 version of Tebow. Notice I said G5 because I ain't about to do Tebow like that. But anywho, he will not go out there and win 10 or 11 games next year. I don't care what Georgia defense does. Bobo play calling, their lack of experience, that junk is gonna be Barsuda. Stamp it.
Sauce.
Stamp it.
I need you to never mention Nick Fitzgerald ever again for one reason and one reason only. I'm not trying to have that video of Dan Mullen in my head.
Man, forget Daniel. But like I said, he ain't winning no double digit. All right.
I don't think. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if they win 10 games this year. I think
It'll be if they do, it'll be a struggle. Like they're a program that like I have to mark down like 9 or 10 until they show me every reason that why I
that's-
shouldn't.
that's why I think it's 9. That's why I
Yeah.
think it's 9.
No
So,
bowl game.
Real quick before we start wrapping it up, man. I want to ask you all your top 3 teams in the SEC this year. If you had to give just a prediction right now, it may change, but right now.
Bama, Texas, Florida.
I agree.
That's about right.
No order though.
Yeah,
Honorable
no,
mentions: South Carolina if everything goes right and Laura Sellers improves as a passer. They're dangerous.
You like South Carolina after all they lost to the draft?
Yeah, I still do. I like Sellers. I don't know about the team, but
I like
again,
Stubbs and Dylan
that depends more on if he improves as a passer and if the Nick Harbor experiment actually pans out this year instead of what it did last year, then sure.
If Nick Harvard plays this year like he does on the damn video game, yeah, I like South Carolina this year.
This man said video game.
Hey man, if you play, you say you get him on your team. All you gotta do is just tell him to go deep. He gonna score every time.
You play on freshman.
Yeah, I would go Bama, Texas, and Florida as well.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see South Carolina sneak in there. I would absolutely not be surprised to see Kirby Smart find a way to get his team in the top 3 at all.
The man's fueled by powerful hate, and he is a gambler coach.
Yeah.
and they're still a talented roster at the end of the day.
He's an old school mental motivator, which I think is going the wayside with NIL, but he's allowed to still hang on to it because he's won so much so recently that he gets to use it more than the average coach who would have players running for the portal if they, use the mental abuse that
Or driving to the portal, depending on what he has.
Yeah.
Or driving to the portal.
Kalen
No, he won't. No, they refuse to call Ubers. They drive themselves, get arrested on the way.
Hey, man, they'll always say the first class you're enrolling in Georgia is driving school.
They probably failed that too.
They don't enroll in it, as evidenced by the
It's one of them show classes. You take attendance and then you leave.
Hey, peep this. If Georgia win 10 games without including a bowl, I will put on a Georgia jersey and yell, "Go Dogs" on video.
That will be the greatest coaching job of Kirby Smart's career.
I think there's a great chance they win 10 games. They're still incredibly talented, and he is the best coach in college football, in my opinion.
Like, they lost 3 first rounds off that defense, and they'll probably reload with another couple of first rounders. Like, who knows?
Man,
I think it's still going to be a step back from the Georgia we're used to, but I still think that they are going to be good.
I'm used to Georgia being overrated, winning 8, maybe 9 games. Luckily, 10. That's what the Georgia I'm used to.
That's my college experience, but I don't know that that's the Georgia we're dealing with at this moment.
Not Kirby, man. Just Kirby.
F Kirby.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that one.
Right.
Y'all got any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
Please don't disappoint me. I'm having a good time with my sports teams, Florida. I'm begging you. Don't make me sad.
I ain't got no comments on sports.
I would say final thoughts on my end. I was thinking about the other day. I think this year is going to be the best year of Gator football. I think I said this on the last podcast for our podcast. We have been sucking since 2021. We have never been happy for a full season. I think this year we finally come on this podcast with some joy. I'm going to be able to talk smack and be a little bit reckless. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a solid season for us.
If that doesn't happen, we'll just never have a good season on this podcast. I will just come to terms with it.
Yeah.
Well, this is do or die, I think. I don't think I don't think it's playoff or bust or anything like that, but this is a show me year. You have your entire roster. Your schedule, it's difficult, but it sets up better than it did last year. I like our home games versus our away games. I think it's a tick easier than it was. And, you've got to make a step in the right direction. And that's being at least in every game you play and probably winning at least 9 games.
Facts. Big facts.
My final thoughts is OKC Thunder get it done on Thursday for the orange and blue teams. So I'm going to put that out there. But I'm just excited about the season coming up. I mean, this is the most excited we've been about Florida football in a while. And like Marcus said, hopefully we can come on this podcast every week, happy after a win, talking smack. And I'm going to just say this right now, Pops, because you are one loyal fan of this show. And you are a Georgia fan. We beat y'all this year? Oh, yeah. We going to be reckless as hell when we get on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Your daddy going to get you.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I agree.
9-3.
9-3 or better.
I agree with that. Yep.
I agree.
That sounds about right.
Man, put it at 10-2, cuz.
I agree with that too.
The talent's there to win 10 games.
I will have some dignity. I will be pretty, because I grew up expecting Florida to beat Georgia. This whole Georgia being good thing is kind of new to me. So
yeah,
like I said, I'm in a good place with my sports fandoms. Like my team won a natty.
This man gets
cares about to win the Stanley Cup. Florida is a good roster. Finally, I get to see Travis Hunter on Sundays. I'm having fun.
It must be nice. I ain't got nothing going. This it for me.
You ain't rocking with Tua?
Listen, my coaching is where I get my fulfillment from. Like, I'm in sports hell.
Dang, that's tough, bro.
The
I'm
Yankees.
like in between. Like, my teams are probably not gonna be. The Giants aren't gonna be that good, but there's a chance they could be, and they have.
They're gonna be really excited because Travis Hunter's out there.
I don't trust the Dolphins, and then
I never trust the Dolphins.
my Tar Heels. We got a roster. people don't really respect it, but Herbert Davis does well in his odd year season, so we'll see how year 5 goes.
That was the other thing, Allie. He is a North Carolina Tar Heels fan of basketball.
Mm. I don't understand the split fandom.
I grew up watching UNC in March. They were my first ever favorite team.
Okay.
See, I can respect that. I can.
If you grew up watching it as opposed to a bandwagon fan, I'll let it slide.
Because, all right, so Allie, I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now that Sauce and I are cousins. So Sauce really got into like Gator football a little bit. Like I was born into Gator football.
Yeah. So he adopted us later.
Yeah, so like he grew up in an era watching UNC basketball.
Okay.
My dad and I kind of pushed him into that.
Converted him.
Gator.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Pops, you get to enjoy Saturdays, but damn, you
hate Sundays.
Hey, Pops. Thank you.
It's much
Thank
longer.
you for doing business.
That boy, he really likes some dogs, man.
Bro.
He really liked dogs, man. Georgia and then Cleveland. Sheesh.
You changed my life. You gave me Travis Hunter.
At least.
If you a legit Browns fan, kudos to you, good man. I know y'all been hating Sundays for years. Anybody that's Browns fan, I can respect them. But you may not hate them for too much longer if Shedeur Sanders is your starting quarterback. Because I think he can be good for them.
Hey man, Mason Crab's a good player. He's a nice rookie, but you know, he ain't.
And by the way, Allie, the funny thing is it won't be UNC fans for basketball that are Florida fans for football. It's gonna be when Florida and Duke play in Cameron Indoor Stadium when the Florida football fans are getting out the Duke sweatshirts and t-shirts.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
Jerry.
Me? What you talking about, bro?
I'm just fucking with you, bro.
Hey, nah, Marcus ain't like never mind.
So Duke was my
What'd you say, Chuck?
They were my
Second.
second team, JJ Redick.
Second.
For sure.
Boy, all right.
For sure.
All right.
I hate Duke. I'm pretty much.
Telling?
I hate Duke. I hate
Duke, the reason why I hate the color blue. But all my teams are blue except the Blackhawks.
I haven't hated Duke in like 5 years for some reason, but like that choke job they did in the tournament, it brought back so many good memories of hating Duke.
That's not a choke job. That's their regular. They do that every year. Every year. Bank on them niggas not making it to the Natty. Like,
but
the hate is crazy.
It was the fact that I'm sitting there expecting to play them. All right, we're gonna see who the real best team in the country is. I'm expecting us to play Duke, and for them to melt down the way they did.
I ain't gonna lie. Cooper would have killed y'all. I ain't even finna hold you.
All right, let's end this before I get into argument because I'm not going to even get into that.
Oh, we could argue when the live end. We could definitely take it there. I'm feeling it.
Before we end it, so Allie, I gotta ask because you and Eric pretty much said F it and flew out to San Antonio. What was that experience like?
Oh my gosh, ridiculous. So we couldn't go to the Final Four game because our daughter had states for gymnastics. And so we had kind of said like, okay, if they win that game, do we try and hop on a plane, and head out there Sunday night? And then Eric was like, oh, I've got so much at work. Let's this. And then I talked to my dad and he and my mom were like kind of on board. So then Eric was back on the train. And then my dad texted me Sunday afternoon. So this is Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, he texted me and was like, your mom fell and sprained her ankle. So we're out, but y'all should still go. At the same time, Eric came to me and was like, you know what? You should just go with your parents. And I was like, shit, no one wants to go. And so when I told him what happened to my mom, he was like, fine, book it. Let's just go. So it was literally 8:00 on Sunday night that we booked our flights for 6 a.m. Monday morning, stayed up until midnight packing, went to bed. Our alarm was set for 3:00 in the morning. 2 different children came in and woke us up in the middle of the night between midnight and 3 a.m. So I got like basically no sleep at all. Wake up at 3, leave the house by 3:30, make it to the airport, get on the plane, land, go immediately to like the river walk area. Met up with some of Eric's former teammates and friends of ours and literally just stayed out until bought tickets from somebody there on like the side of the road. Went to the game. It was awesome. went back to the team hotel afterwards, partied till like 3:00 in the morning, caught an Uber at 5:30 to take us back to the airport, flew home, was home by 1:00 on Tuesday, and I had to pick up my kids from school at 2:10. So literally like walked in the door, turned around, threw my keys down, walked back out the door to grab them from school. It was wild. But
That is a
so
whirlwind, but so
Yeah,
worth it.
I feel like I'm exhausted to listen to
I
that.
did not
That's a
recover for like
movie.
a week. It was
Allie,
That
that's a
literally-
movie. What you just said, like what y'all went through, that should be a movie. I would
It
buy
was
tickets to watch
such
it.
a bucket list thing. Like Eric and I, so in 06 when they won, in April of 06, Eric lived in the duplex that's directly across the street from the O'Connell Center. So we watched it. This is so Gainesville, in his front yard on a couch. And, as the clock struck 0, everybody's doors open and we all kind of flooded to University Avenue. And then the next game, the 07 game, we went to Atlanta, watched us beat, Ohio State. And so we've every football national championship we've been to, we've won. The one basketball one we'd been to before this, we'd won. So we were like, okay, we have to do this. We have to be there. And it was so awesome. And the fact that we led for, I think it was 1 minute and 3 seconds of that entire game is just unbelievable. It was very fun. I was very tired, but it was such a bucket list thing.
definitely sounds like it was worth it. That ending was funny. He couldn't even touch the ball after it hit the ground.
I thought we had so much more time. Like there was
No,
like
same.
21 seconds left or
Like time
something.
stood still.
I thought we were going to have 3 timeouts between
Right.
when the ball, like that was the most mind-blowing ending to that game.
When
Yeah.
Aberdeen missed that free throw, I almost died, bro.
Vegas made the call.
Dude.
No, where I almost died was that inbound where Walter almost threw it over Aberdeen's head.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, him flying like he was Superman to alter the shot, and then the guy just drops it, and he's just standing there. I'm like, oh shoot, he can't touch it. We
Vegas made the call.
touch it. And then as soon as Condon got the ball, clock struck 0, man. Oh my goodness, that was incredible to watch.
No, I
Incredible.
cried, bro. I fell on the floor and cried. I swear, I did.
This man
I
got
cried.
Man, I was about ready to cut some nets down in my backyard. That's how hyped I was.
It meant so much because the Celtics just won a championship in June, right? And then I didn't get a chance to see that with my dad.
Yeah.
And then also, my dad, like before he passed away, he sent me something about Elijah Martin. He was like, "Yo, Elijah Martin from FAU is going to Florida. Like, he's a good player." And I'm like, "Yeah." So he was excited to see the team, and like, dude, I was so freaking emotional. I was like, "Oh my god, we did it!"
Elijah Martin take us to a Final Four and then winning a championship in Florida is so fun. It's so wild. Ain't it, Jerry?
Hey, bro.
man.
Yeah,
Elijah
good.
stamped in Gainesville. Walter Clayton Jr. That statue is coming soon.
Yes.
Remember, this is gonna come soon. But Allie, it was great having you on the show tonight, as it always is. Let's let everybody know where they can follow you. And hey, when's the show coming back? We're looking forward to that too.
I have had a bunch of commitment videos drop in the last few days, and more in the can, waiting for some of these guys to pull the trigger. But there should be some interviews coming out soon and some more content. You can follow me on Twitter, which I don't know if you guys followed my old account, but I was hacked and fought with Twitter for legitimately months to get my account back. They are still charging me for the verification, but my old account is now Veronica Vaughn on Twitter. Somebody hacked it. So I have a new Twitter. It's at Allie_Peak. So if you want to follow the new account, that would be wonderful. And on YouTube, a peek inside Gators football.
And speaking of recruiting, Jerry, Marcus, my job is done. Jerry, you up next. My job.
You know what time it is.
Hey, go make my tight end room great again, unless I do it myself.
Yeah, Jerry.
Hey,
Because part of my job is done. I'm working overtime, working on another one from the 850 area code.
look, man. All
Yeah,
I'm
I've
saying,
long got my wins, man. My job is my feet are kicked up. I got my wins.
all of y'all go support my little brother Hezzy Kent. Everybody go follow him, show him some love, and tell him to come to Gainesville, man. That's all I'll say.
Oh my God.
Free Allie. Free Allie's
I'm
account.
telling you what, I am like, it is so obnoxious. Twitter's like, we can't verify it's you. I'm like, you are legitimately charging my credit card for it every month. I'm like, what?
Free Allie. Lock up whoever Veronica is.
Veronica Vaughn, what?
And every
That's
once in a while, she'll
crazy.
retweet Gator stuff, and then it's all like crypto things. It's like a weird crypto bot that it's absurd. And then the fact that I cannot get an actual person from Twitter to talk to me on the phone, it just has to be a million bots that are like, "Oh, you sent us your driver's license, your credit card's paying for this, but we're not sure if it's you."
Oh my God.
Mind blowing.
Blame Elon for firing
I
everybody.
literally tweeted Elon at one point that was like, "Hi, can you help me out over here? That would be great."
Yo, that is so funny.
That's wild.
Oh, ridiculous.
I say hire a hacker to get it back.
Well, yeah, maybe I need to do that. If y'all know anybody, let me know.
See, I would agree if there's only one problem. We don't want to see Allie possibly go to jail. Happen.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Eric keeps sending me these things for Reddit. It's like, try this, try this, try this. And at this point, I'm like, I am so done with trying to figure out how to free this account.
That's crazy, yo.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Marcus, get ready for the rants. They get ready for the rants to hit the ice.
Oh, I'm prepared. Let's see who's scored again.
This is going to be a party in South Florida.
Again.
With
All right, guys.
six
Well, I got to
fans.
slide out of here, but I appreciate you for having me on. This was fun.
Of course. Always great
Of
having you on,
course.
Allie. Seriously.
Yes, ma'am. Go Gators.
Go
Well,
Gators. We'll do it again soon. This is
Yes,
fun.
yes.
Yes,
See you
definitely.
in Gainesville.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right. That was Allie Peak, y'all. We love having her on the show. And man, it's been a great show tonight, man. We definitely had a lot to talk about. And this is honestly one of the most fun shows we've had in a while.
For sure, man. Always great having Allie on. She's so insightful. She knows what she's talking about, and she goes blow for blow with other fan bases every year. So love having her, man. That's our Gator sister right there.
Yeah, man. It's so fun to actually talk about stuff and then this little dead period before the season, before camp rolls in. And like getting to actually look at the rosters in totality so far and what we've been hearing, what we excited about, what we really want to see going in. So I'm always glad to do these things, and this is the most I've been excited about Florida football in quite some time.
I got the logo, I got the hat, I got the logo again. I mean, I'm excited, bro. I'm already feeling like a champion because I am a champion, but we won in basketball, so nobody can tell me nothing anyway.
Hey, like I said, man, I'm in a good place with my sports fandom. Florida football, y'all up next.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, same. And recruiting is going really well right now, except for one person. Of
Oh,
course.
great right now, actually.
Really
matter of
well.
fact.
Really well.
No, we're not doing this negativity.
No, you didn't even let me land my plane. What I was gonna say before people assume, I was gonna say really well. I was like, it ain't National Signing Day yet. Go get me some more recruits. But
No, that's facts. I don't believe anything until I see it in October, November, December.
Right. I agree. And we did just have one from Windermere decommit from Nebraska, CJ Bronaugh, and immediately got an RPM for Florida. So that's one they've been working on for a while. So pretty soon that one should be happening.
But another thing too about the December thing, I'm not gonna be long winded. One of the things that I've noticed is that kids will have a top 3 or 5, Florida not be in it, and then come to us. Like the Byron kid, that running back from American Heritage. I don't know if I said his name right, but that is a kid that I am excited for. He might not play a lot, but I can't wait to see his growth and development.
I agree. I love that kid brings to the table and brings to this running back room.
Well, the one that we just got?
Yeah, Byron. He just got him.
Oh, that kid. Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
He's got great size. He's got really good speed and can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a complete running back. Him and Duke Clark, they are complete running backs.
Duke is a very good running back, man. The cream's gonna rise to the crop.
I just hope these kids keep their heads down and don't hit the portal. That's the only thing.
I agree.
Because we lose, 2 through running backs this year? 2 at the max, right?
Jacoby.
And Bob?
No, Bob's he's sophomore, true sophomore.
I'm tripping. I don't know what I'm thinking. I didn't mean to say, but what it was, I was thinking about Webb's eligibility. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Webb, yeah.
And you know what? who knows? He might possibly hit the portal. I mean, he technically could. I mean, and if he does, he'll be a grad transfer. This kid graduated in 2.5 years.
Yeah,
Amazing.
bro. Listen, I taught his younger brother 4th and 5th grade for not last year, but the 2 years before. So he come from a well-rounded family. Like his mom is well, his little brother was smart, and his little sister was smart too. So I mean, they come from a good family.
And see, Trayon Webb is one of those kids you want to root for regardless of whether football works out or not, because you know that whether it works out, he's going to be very successful.
Yeah.
Bro, when we did Twitter Spaces and he came in, he man, listen, his future bright, dog. His future bright. That's all I got to say.
Whether it's in football or not, his future is very bright.
Absolutely.
Like I can't wait to see what the future holds for him, for real. Yeah, definitely. Well, this is a great show, man. Let everybody know where they can follow y'all. Burner accounts included, and if you've been hacked, whatever that account is as well.
Follow me right here. Jay Breezy II.
Burner. We don't do no burners, right? This ain't no offense to cuz. What you talking about? Wait.
Oh, also Pops. This is my cousin Sauce, bro. Sauce is one of the most passionate people I know about. So yeah, man. Don't take any offense. He just hates Georgia. I hate Georgia, but he hates Georgia a little bit more because his dad's a Georgia fan. My uncle. So
yeah, a lot of hating his heart. Don't mind him.
No, I got to, bro. Listen, when Champ Mama would text my mama, and she'll like send some like encouragement and stuff, it's always a go dog. So like, it just makes my blood boil and my skin itch. So like, I hate them folks.
Yeah, he hates them probably more than you hate him more than Florida State, don't you?
Man, Florida State ain't them cupcake niggas.
They're not on my radar at this point.
Them niggas some cupcakes. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna just put it on Twitter about Florida State.
Yeah, I ain't even worried about them boys like that. But anyway, y'all see my Mark Deals now for y'all know where to follow me per usual on here and on Blue Sky if you so choose to do that. And you can follow my burner at Listen Real Close. You'll never know.
He love that mic. Hey, is it changing colors or am I tripping?
It
does change colors.
That boy got something raw.
You got some heat.
It go blue, it red, it's green right now, as y'all can see.
Oh, that boy like the Eagles, huh?
It blue now too. It's changing.
That's a fire, man.
It's gonna be purple.
Shit.
There you go. Look at Wade. Mine is
green.
I was gonna say my favorite one on there is that red one, cause red one, my favorite color.
Hard. That shit ain't blue now. No, it's purple now. Hold on.
Yeah, that's gonna be so raw.
Follow you.
Oh, mine is DSGB Sauce. DSGB stands for Down South Gator Boy. You did.
Oh, was there a change made to that? What that stood for?
I said that when I changed it.
That's what it was. What you
DSGB Down South Gator Boy. I said that.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought G stood for something else. Only because
where I'm from, cool, but I'm a Gator fan. Cause my name used to be UF Sauce. Like, hello.
Yeah, he doing his thing, man. Not too much.
It's interchangeable. There's nothing wrong with interchangeability.
Right, that is true. Y'all can follow me as y'all see down there on Twitter at AceWave1, Instagram Ace_Wave1, ladies. You can follow the podcast account on Twitter at Inside_Swamp, Instagram Inside_Forward Athletics, TikTok and Twitch Inside Swamp. And with that, we're going to leave y'all. This has been another great episode of the Swamp Inside Forward Athletics, and we're going to leave y'all as we always do. God bless y'all. Go Gators. Y'all stay safe. Take care of your loved ones. Tell them you love them every day. Check in with your loved ones. Take care of your chicken. Take care of your mentals. Wash your face. Wash your hands. Marcus.
With soap and with water, preferably warm water in that there shower. Go and get you a bar dog. Go and get you some Moles Spice. Go and get you some Irish Spring. Go and get you whatever. Even some natural soap, whatever it is. I implore you, get behind the mirrors, get in every nook and cranny in your body and wash your ass. I repeat, wash your ass. And wear socks and shoes closed-toed shoes in the movie theater, in the restaurant, or outside in any and all public settings.
Facts.
Have a blessed day.
And with that,
Facts.
y'all go Gators. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great night.
Hey, also y'all check out the theme music at the beginning of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Your boy out here turned to J. Lamar.
Okay,
Red rose, white ceiling.
You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, we ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that. Y'all have a great
Boys, slow down.
night. And please continue to subscribe, hit the like button,
Yeah,
and continue to follow us, regardless of what y'all think of that intro.
it's fine.
But with that, God bless y'all. Go Gators and have a great night.